ドジャースの大谷翔平が日本時間6日、アストロズ戦に先発し、今季最長となる7回を投げ、4安打2失点、8奪三振の好投を見せました。開幕から6登板連続でクオリティスタートを達成しましたが、打線の援護に恵まれず、1点ビハインドの展開で降板。3勝目はお預けとなりました。この日、米野球中継番組に出演したペドロ・マルティネス氏は、試合前から投手、大谷について自身の見解を語っていました。さらに試合中には自身の X を更新し、大谷への称賛を次々と投稿しました。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
We're in rare form. Pedro Martinez, the Hall of Famer. What a matchup we have for you tonight. Last time Shohei pitched on TBS, what happened? Magic happened. Let us take you back. He made us all look like mere mortals. You remember the greatest individual game ever. With my own eyes, struck out 10, hit 3 home runs. You hear me? Struck out 10, hit 3 bombs. What?
You can't do that?
I could in Little League.
And don't forget,
And I was 5.
don't forget, huge amount of Mexicans and remembering Fernando Valenzuela, Cinco de Mayo.
That's right.
For the LA Dodgers should be special.
That is absolutely right. And the continuation of greatness. Look at this, Pedro Martinez. You are one of, if not the greatest to ever do it. Can you put into perspective the totality of talent we're seeing from Shohei Ohtani?
Well, Shohei Ohtani seems to be stronger mentally, and his determination to do whatever he does is probably better than the stuff he brings over. 100 wipeout slider, wipeout split, and also cutters. I think all of those are way above average, but I think his determination and his mindset, the way he sets himself to do things, I think it's even better than.
That's interesting. Than the stuff.
Than the stuff and the hitting and everything.
0.78 ERA. And he said it, hitting a couple starts ago. Dave Roberts said, you know what? When you're starting, not just 2 jobs, you're going to have 1 job. And you're just going to pitch. You like that?
I do like it. We get to see his greatness, and we're witnessing greatness every time he steps on the field, whether it's as a pitcher or as a guy in the box. Shohei has done everything in this game. MVPs, got him.
Yep.
World Series championships, got him. What's the one thing he hasn't done? Rookie of the year, got it. Only war you can win once. What's the one thing that he doesn't have? That's a Cy Young. And you can bet.
Change your voice.
You can see every time he's out there, he's going to prove I'm going to win Cy Young. And when it happens, Pedro, not if, but when it happens, I think the conversation's over. We get to witness the greatest player of all time.
I think we already are witnessing the greatest player of all time.
I mean, remember in Legion Baseball when little Jimmy would try to, hit one out and then pitch 3 innings. He's doing that on the biggest
How'd you know they called him
stage.
Little Jimmy? Oh, okay.
And one to continue to excel, eventually over time, you start to be better at one than the other. He continues to hit, continues to pitch. His velocity is going up. His stuff is getting better. When he's hitting, he's shown that he can be one of the best hitters of all time. So you combine all 2 of those together, and the fact they're going to give him his legs some rest by not hitting and pitching on the same days. Like, Jimmy, you know how it is. I was always worried. If he gets a triple and then has to come back out there and throw, what's that going to do for him? Now all he has to do is just go ahead and throw and sit back down for a little bit and come back out there. That does a lot for you.
See, that would be the only concern I would have about Shohei probably pursuing a Cy Young. Is the wear and tear that his body is going to take. Because I know what it takes to be out there every 5 days and take 30 outings, 33 outings.
What does it take, Pedro? In between the starts, take me through the day after you pitch, then the day after. What are you doing?
He does have a special routine that he does, and it's unique only to Shohei Ohtani's body. Like what I had to do was a lot of work, a lot of leg work, a lot of abs, and I was just pitching. And it took so much from me to actually finish the season and finish it healthy, so that we could go into the postseason and then add whatever we needed to add to end up winning. But for Shohei Ohtani, the only thing that I feel like it will be in between his Cy Young will be, running every day, having to do so much to actually keep his body healthy. That's the only thing. But his mindset is ready to go get a Cy Young. His mindset is ready to go get whatever he says he's going to get in baseball. And it's starting to get boring for Shohei Ohtani. That's why he's probably not going to hit anymore. He's tired of doing that.
He's tired.
Now
I've already mastered it.
He's going to go for the Cy Young. And the next time he wins the Cy Young, which I think he would if he stays healthy, I think he's going to go for 50 or maybe 40 games close. That would
He's going to be a closer after that.
He's going to be a closer after that and then do everything that nobody has done ever in baseball.
Actually, he's going to be the greatest of all time. It's not going to be a discussion. When his career is all said and done, like we could talk about guys that were the greatest hitters, guys that were the greatest pitchers. We're talking about the greatest of all time because he does both. He can beat you with his legs. He's proven that. He can beat you with the bat. He's proven that. And he's proven once again that when he's on a bump, he can beat you with his arm. I'm just saying, throw it out there. You heard it today.
Heard it today.
He's going to be the greatest of all time.
Ooh. Wow. Okay, you want to see what he did last time out. It was against the Marlins, 9 strikeouts. And you have to, Jimmy, you're going to say sit fastball, and Curtis, you're going to say sit fastball. But he can beat you in so many ways. You have to cover 97. You have to cover 74. How do you do that?
And nothing is straight. You know, everything is moving. Look at the graphics here. It's going left. It's going right. There's even rise and there's sink. Plus, he's changing speeds. When you can throw it up there close to 100.
Look at this.
And then pull back all the way down to 70. You know, we were talking about it beforehand. How do you gear up for that? And he does an amazing job of making everything look the same. And there's so many different pitches in an 0-0 count, in a 3-2 count, and everywhere in the middle. It's hard to get comfortable against him.
And the beauty of Shohei Ohtani is that his concentration level is like off the charts. Because sometimes you face pitchers and you probably think, well, he's going to lose it somewhere. He's going to become erratic or lose his composure on the mound. No.
That was
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen with Shohei. And I think he's stronger, like I said before, mentally. And his determination is at a level that none of us can probably understand or explain.
You can.
Well, I've done it, but only in one area of the game. But this guy's been able to handle himself mentally and prepare himself physically, and his determination level to go for some of the greatest things that you can achieve in baseball to another level. This guy is very unique. And you don't see him change his mindset ever in anything he does. And that's what makes him so unique. You're not going to have this guy lose his concentration in anything he decides to do.
Jerry, you mentioned Pitcher of the Month honors yesterday. Shohei Ohtani was named the NL Pitcher of the Month for March/April in 5 starts. He tossed 30 innings, had an ERA of 0.6 with 34 strikeouts, held hitters to a 160 batting average. The OPS you see is 0.87, the whip, I should say. And this is the first time he has won a Pitcher of the Month award. He's gone exactly 6 innings in all 5 of his starts this year. Only 2 earned runs allowed total. Tonight, Jerry, he could focus on just pitching as he looks to keep this great start to his season going.
I actually like that. Obviously, we know his struggles at the plate. It's only 20-something at bats. He's going to find his groove at the plate. But with pitching, just focusing on pitching, giving us length, hopefully maybe 7 strong innings. We know it's a good lineup the Houston Astros possess, especially in that ballpark. Continue reshaping that curveball 3 or 4 times, spotting that fastball along with that running fastball to go with that devastating split. If he has all those pitches going tonight, it should be a good night for the Dodgers.
Listen, those numbers are ridiculous. I mean, that was such an impressive month. And, you know, he's ridiculous. We've seen that and we've used that adjective to describe him time and time again. It's just so fun to watch what he does both on the pitcher mound and at the plate. But it really just continue doing what you're doing right now out there. Just go out there and pitching. And that's really something that I think we as Dodger fans have come to see right now and notice right now, that he is really a pitcher with incredible stuff. He's not just going out there, a sick athlete that we know that he is, going out there and just throwing with incredible stuff. He is pitching, and that is fun to watch.
And obviously, Oral could touch on this because he was one of the greatest pitchers ever. But just as a hitter, and Nomar, looking at his delivery, it's smooth, It looks effortless. He's using his legs to protect his arm. And that's why I think you're seeing right now, this is the best we've ever seen Shohei Ohtani.
Crazy to think, 2 years ago, this is a guy who had a 50-50 season. Last year, 55 home runs, and now the best pitcher in the National League, at least to start the year. Well, before yesterday's game, Dave Roberts said that Shohei would pitch and DH tonight, but after the game, he changed his tune. He said it wasn't about the over 17 stretch as much as it was just watching Shohei's body language, Nomar. So we'll see Shohei pitch only tonight and not DH.
Yeah, listen, Dave Roberts does an incredible job having a handle on his players. I know we may be able to look at the numbers, we can see some at bats, see some of that body language, but it's only what the camera gives us. We're not necessarily watching him regularly in the dugout. So he may have seen some other stuff just when in the dugout, maybe that he might be trusting a little bit that he's at the plate, whatever it may be, that made him kind of change his mind. He's thinking like, after last night, watching him say, maybe we just need one of those days where you just focus on pitching right now. It's hard to say that this is a mental break, but it's a mental break from hitting. Like, well, okay, now you just refocus. You've been doing an unbelievable job on the mound. Obviously, we just mentioned him being the pitcher of the month, but continue that. Sometimes when you don't do well from the offensive side, I know as an everyday player, I'm making good plays on defense and I'm picking our team up. You feel really good about yourself, saying, hey, at least I'm doing one part of my job or half my job here, and you can go home feeling good, making great plays. Well, they want to make sure you can also feel good going out there, pitching and doing the other part that he does extremely well. So I think this is good but he sees stuff way more than we're able to see, and that's why he changed his tune.
That's why he's a Hall of Fame manager. Dave Roberts has the pulse of his club, the pulse of his players, and understand, sometimes you need to take a step back. We saw yesterday, Shohei Ohtani grinding in the batting cage, early hitting, but I love the fact that he's able to take a breath and just focus on pitching tonight, just for a night, and that could be a kind of a press the reset button. But I will say this, I don't care who you are, Hall of Famers have gone some stretches where it's just not been there. That's just the nature of the beast, and I say this all the time. Getting hits in the major leagues, not just hitting the ball, getting hits in the big leagues is the toughest thing to do in all of sports, and I don't think there's anything close to that, because when you do hit it well, sometimes, guess what? So many variables. You got guys running it down and making great plays. So again, nice press the reset button on the offensive side and just focus on the pitching.
Hi, John. Well, look, when we see what Shohei Ohtani has been able to do the last 2 years, we're kind of in a situation right now where he has truly been excellent on the mound. You all talked about his offensive struggles, but for the first time, it does seem like we're kind of seeing him face a little bit of adversity as he's working through some mechanical things, his timing, his gathering, when it comes to what he's doing offensively. Dave Roberts, you all shared that last night. He made the decision in game that he was not going to have him DH today, only focusing on the pitching, allowing it to be a mental reset, a physical reset. Dave Roberts today, he talked about just what he's been learning about Shohei Ohtani, navigating some of these offensive struggles, and how he does believe right now it could be just signs of some fatigue.
What I've learned about Shohei is his primary focus is helping the Dodgers win. And I say that because he understands the rest that he potentially gets by not hitting on certain days that he doesn't pitch is best for him in the short and the long term, for him and the Dodgers. I think he is smart enough to know his body, very well of his body, and how it's responding to what's we're asking of him as far as hitting and pitching. So to be self-aware and honest with where his body is at. I talked to him about giving him an off day. There's no resistance, it's complete buy-in, and that's a good thing.
So then do you think just some of these offensive struggles could then be due to more of that just fatigue of how demanding his role is?
I do. With pitching, there's the day of the start, what it takes on your mind in the box, the day after you're hitting, the tax on your body and what you endured the day before your outing. So that affects the hitting. That's 2 days right there. The physical part of it would cut into the physical part of the pitching, right? So that's why he can't go full bore into working on his swing, grinding through it to right himself when his mechanics aren't where they need to be, because then there's the diminishing returns with the pitching. It's nuanced. It's kind of a balancing act. And I think he's doing a really fine job of it. I don't think he's too far off. I really don't. He's still taking his walks, getting on base. It's just an easy bet that he'll kind of, return to the mean, to his mean. Yeah.
For Shohei, he's been very transparent that he is working through a few things, but that it is challenging when he is a two-way player, managing, just staying ready for his pitching performances, but also being available at the plate, posting every single day. He said, honestly, there's just not enough time in the day. Yesterday, we literally saw him come in early around 2 o'clock to take some extra batting practice here on the field, to try to work on his feel, his timing, just understanding where the ball is falling here at Daikin Park. And then we immediately saw him go into the bullpen to prepare for his start today. So it's something that he's the only player who does this. He's the only player who has an idea as what it actually takes to be successful as a two-way player in the big leagues. And Dave Roberts was even sharing with us this afternoon, we have to really take into consideration he hasn't been to his true two-way self in over 2 years. Of course, coming back from having elbow surgery, year one with the Dodgers, only focusing on hitting. Of course, we saw the stolen base numbers last year slowly building up. So there is naturally going to be some fatigue as he works his way back into being that two-way guy. But they want to put him in a position where not only can he take advantage of getting some rest early in the season, but putting him in a position where that he's going to be successful in the most important games come October, guys.
Shohei did pull double duty 3 years in a row with the Angels from 2021 through 23. He hit 277 over those 3 years. He averaged a little more than 40 home runs per season. And in 2023, Jerry, his OPS was the highest of his career, even higher than the first 2 years here with the Dodgers. But now he's doing both again. He's almost 32 years of age. Should we lower our expectations for him at least a little bit as an offensive player?
Well, he's not going to do 50-50. That's not happening. And honestly, I don't want that to happen because obviously the energy he's going to need on the mound and then get back to hitting. I really believe this is just a slump. You're going to go through slumps. I don't care who you are as a hitter, but I know he's going to fight through this and figure it out. It's called an average for a reason. You're not going to hit 450. You just can't. You're going to fluctuate. So I expect him to catch fire very, very soon and carry us offensively for a month. One more thing. He has done this in the past. Okay, he's not old. He's not 38, 39, 40 years of age. He's 31, soon to be 32. He's in his prime. He's going to figure it out.
Lower expectations. I don't think he does, so why should we? And I don't, it's really hard to set a bar because he keeps just passing the bar and raising the bar each and every time. So I don't know if it's lowering expectations, so to speak, but I think you're right, Jared. Yeah, I don't expect him to do 50-50. I mean, that was pretty incredible. And it was almost like he was going out there saying, listen, if I just focused on one, here's what I can do. But at the same time, I think one of the things we might even consider is possibly moving him in the lineup. We're giving him these days when he does pitch, but also when you're getting 5 at-bats, 6 at-bats compared to maybe 4 at-bats over a course of a game, that starts to add up and starts to wear and tear. It's something to look at too. Maybe is there a spot too where maybe it's driving in runs? Do we have other guys that possibly can get those at-bats? Maybe once Mookie gets back, is that something to consider? Somebody who's comfortable leading off? Does that also maybe take it a little bit easier on his body, but also maybe change maybe a little bit of the mindset of just being a guy to drive guys in, not feeling like he has to do a whole lot, also feeling like you have to steal bases, that 4th or 5 spots, just drive in runs when the opportunity presents itself. Because over time, honestly, that's easier on your body too when you start limiting the total amount of at-bats.
I will never forget this. 2004, it's mid-May, maybe late May. Derek Jeter had about 240 at-bats. He was hitting below 200. He hit a ground ball to me, threw him out at first base, was booed at Yankee Stadium. You can look it up. Booed at Yankee Stadium. I get to second base. I turn over to G. I go, you all right? He goes, I got a lot of hits coming, brother. He ended up hitting 297 that year. He understood that, like this guy, he's going to get a lot of at-bats, and these guys get red hot and hit 400, 450 for a month. That's what great players do, and I expect Shohei Ohtani to do the same thing.
But Shohei Ohtani did admit that it is more difficult when he is doing all the pitching work to try to figure things out offensively and put extra time in there as well.
All right, so the next team he faces, the Dodgers. Also in this, you'll be up against Shohei.
Yeah.
You did spend time in Japan. Were they talking about Shohei in Japan last year?
Yeah, Shohei. Shohei is everywhere in Japan.
Like, what's his face on every billboard?
Every corner you turn, every commercial you see, it's Shohei. So
that's wild.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, the good news, bad news as far as Shohei Ohtani pitching, as we take a look at the lineup, is that Shohei Ohtani is pitching. That's the bad news, and the only good news you really get out of that is the fact that he's not in the lineup as a hitter.
You have Shohei Ohtani on the mound. A lot of swing and miss in his repertoire. So give me a guy in Nick Allen who can really put the bat on the ball.
Well, it will be Shohei Ohtani. He's made more starts against the Astros than any other opponent, obviously spending so much time in the American League West with the Angels, and then last year actually pitched against the Astros as well on the 5th of July. 14 starts, 3-6 with a 3.89 ERA. Went 2 innings last year. It was kind of they weren't going to rehab him, obviously, but he was working his way back from Tommy John surgery.
And he was not fully Shohei Ohtani last year. Yes, he came back and he was quote unquote healthy, but it was basically fastball and that sweeping slider from Shohei Ohtani. He's got the full repertoire back this year. And the curveball's back, the split is back. His fastball velocity is actually as high as it's ever been in his career. He'll sit 98 and he'll touch 100, and everything is swing miss. All the off-speed pitches are swing and miss. The split finger, the curveball, all at about a 40% clip. So when you're facing Shohei Ohtani, if you find something in the middle of the zone, you got to put the bat on the ball and end it, because you don't want to get to those out pitches.
Yeah, 34 punch-outs in 30 innings. He's made 5 starts. He's allowed 1 earned run in 2 of those starts. So he's been not just good, he's been dominant. But then,
yeah, yesterday Yamamoto pitched well for the Dodgers, and today the Astros go against the National League pitcher of the month, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, the one thing the Astros do have going for them is they do have experience against Shohei Ohtani. He is the pitcher of the month with those numbers you see on your screen. He actually took a loss that last time out against the Marlins. Gave up a couple of runs, only one of them being earned, but pretty impressive that you give up those 2 runs and end up losing that game 2-1. But the Astros have Yordan on their side, and he is number 1 as far as AL player of the month. So you've got a great matchup tonight. Yordan actually has good numbers against Ohtani. So you got the pitcher of the month in the National League and the AL player of the month matching up. Could be a fun night.
That will be quite a matchup to watch tonight. Yordan versus Shohei.
Yeah, second straight time Shohei Ohtani on the mound loses a game 2-1, Jared. But we talked on the pregame show that last outing, he gave up a season-high 5 hits. He hit a batter. He walked 3 guys. Tonight, he didn't do any of that. He gave up 2 solo home runs, didn't walk anybody, struck out 8. He was really in control the entire time.
And he could have gone out for the 8th inning. He was in control. You tip your hat, Christian Walker. There's the pitch. He ambushes him. Christian Walker, he's done this a lot of times. It was his 30th home run against the Dodgers.
Yes, yeah,
and here, this is a running fastball. Wait, credit the hitter. He goes the other way, uses the elements of the ballpark. It's a short porch there in left field. But other than that, I mean, complete domination. You have a big league pitcher gives you 7 innings and gives up 2 runs. You have to win that ball game. You have to win that ball game. And I know as a hitter and being in that clubhouse, you know you're sick to your stomach right now.
And you also look at the line with the 8 strikeouts, no walks, but 8 strikeouts and being efficient and under 90 pitches.
I think he went out.
You're right. Yeah, I think he could have, because the innings weren't as stressful and the way he was efficient and going at it. That tells you he was just going out there and pitching. It wasn't just one way. We know he has the swing and miss stuff, but it wasn't like getting deep in the counts. It wasn't like, okay, now you're on your heels defensively. I mean, he was pounding the zone. He was being efficient. He was striking guys out, also pitching in contact. He was doing it all today.
And here's another thing that we kind of hinted on the pregame show a little bit. I had a feeling we win this ball game. I thought Shohei Ohtani with the day off tomorrow. Day game after he pitched, so he guarantees gets 2 days off and coming home. Now I think Dave's probably going to be forced to play him tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to try to win that series tomorrow on Getaway Day in Houston. But speaking of Shohei Ohtani, let's hear from the big show right now with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Shohei, first, let's just start with, you've talked about wanting to get into the 7th inning, for you to just navigate through them, be very efficient. How did you find just what was working for you and how you were able to get deeper into this game today?
効率よく7回までいけたっていう要因は何でしょうか？捉えたのがホームランだったので、はい。それ以外は良かったですけど、逆に言えば一本が1点につながるような、失投だったのかなと思います。The hits were homers, so in that sense it was efficient, but something that wasn't ideal.
What do you think led to the 2 hits that